All right. Hey, guys, what's going on? My name is Chris Hawkes, and this is your Best Life Defined. Thanks for showing up one more time, one more chance for you to make that decision to go from where you are to where you want to be. Well, the tough part about that is it comes down to how you feel about yourself. I mean, I know I mentioned that I'm into me. I used to tell the guys at work and everyone around me, hey, I'm the best thing that ever happened to me, which is actually the truth. I mean, when you think about it, it's the truth because without me, none of this exists. This whole thing doesn't exist. So I have to kind of be impressed with me in order to do it. And I think what happened with me was self-confidence. Even when I didn't when I actually didn't feel it in here, I still felt it. It drove me forward. It says, you can do this. And I faced a lot of that. I faced a lot of that. And even now, I don't know if I mentioned in the last few podcasts, my ass has been getting kicked. I don't know why, just my energy level was really low. But I'm into me, right? And I wake up and I say, man, I'm the best thing that ever happened to me. And the only thing about me I wish I could do better was to be more like me. In part of that, that's true, right? How do you feel about you? How do you feel when you look in the mirror and you look at what you've done? No, and not even that. Forget about what you've done. You can't change what you've done. Here's the ticket. Where are you going? You need to be enthused. Guys who show up at the base camp in Mount Everest. Can you imagine the attitude that you get? It's like it's the same with wrestlers and especially MMA fighters. I talk about me doing martial arts, and I've done I've spent a lot of time fighting, and I worked in a federal prison, and I got that tough guy legacy. But the one thing I never really adapted was that hard ass, just hoo wah MMA fighter attitude. Everybody's a punk, right? Everybody, screw you, I'll beat you up, right? But think about it. In order for you to win at that game, it's as much a psychological game as it is a physical game. You get in a fight with someone, you can tell when they lose their will to fight. When you hit them so hard that it shudders their very being and their soul. And I know that's not appropriate in a day and age where we don't touch anybody, but in MMA fighting you do, right? But that comes down to that attitude. We talk about living your best life. I guarantee you, if you look in the mirror and you are not impressed with you don't have the gas to get moving. How difficult is it for you to go to the gym and get in shape when you're not inspired by what you have become and you're not inspired by where you're going? It doesn't matter whether it's true. It doesn't have to be true at first. You know how many lies I've told myself? I'm the best looking, I'm the smartest, I'm the baddest dude in town, right? All to motivate me to go out before I became a deputy sheriff, I knew one thing. I wasn't going to take a butt whipping at the hands of somebody that I was trying to deal with. All right? So 2 years before I ever stepped into that role, I started doing martial arts, but I started in my backyard, right? And I have a heavy bag, 100-pound heavy bag hanging from a chain, about 12 feet of chain. It swings amazing. A big circle, right? Every day, an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, I'm out there punching and kicking that thing. I'm reading books like Teo Ajit Kundo and the Book of Five Rings, and I'm watching Bruce Lee movies, and I'm watching Ninja Turtle movies, and I'm just doing it, right? You know what kind of story I have to have built in my own head in order for me to have the nerve to actually go out there and try that? And then walk into a karate studio. I'm doing this. When I walked into the karate studio, I could do spinning heel kicks all the way across the room without stopping. Just bam, bam, bam. My spinning crescent kick was 6 feet. That's when I walked into the karate studio. And how do you convince yourself to do something like that? You create this crazy-ass story about how amazing you are, about how badass you are, about how this thing is going to save your life, change your life, whatever it is. It's got to be inspiring for you to wake up. You have to be inspired by who you are becoming. And maybe you don't like where you're at. Use that as fuel. Because that double-edged sword, I talk about the dynamics of immense success and immense failure. The motivation for change is that the incentive is so amazing that we just can't resist facing those struggles to achieve that goal, or the other side of it is when our life has fallen into a pit and it's gotten so bad and so unbearable that you can't handle it that way either. Those are the two motivators for us to take action, right? You know, if you're not all into you, if you're not all into where you are and you haven't reached that position in your mind to where you're actually saying, you know what, I'm the shit, go the other way. Go the other way. Take the ugly picture of yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, look what I've done. I'm going to change this. I'm done being this. I'm going to do something different with my life. I'm out walking yesterday, doing the conversation with myself about this podcast, and there's a lady sitting on a bench, and I say hi to her, and we have a brief conversation. And just from the looks of her, I can see she's had a rough life. She has a couple dogs, and she's lacking in a lot of ways, right? She's not in very good shape, and she's older now. But you take that situation right there. What is stopping her from making a positive change in her life? In the end, it comes down to what she believes about herself. The reason I don't quit here is because I own this. This is mine, good or bad. You can criticize, and people can. You can say whatever you want about the content, or maybe I don't speak clear enough, or maybe I'm just not good looking enough to watch on video. But those stories have no bearing on my action. It's a story in my head. It's right up here, right? It's what I think about what I'm doing. It's what I believe about what I'm doing, right? And I don't know, I'm looking around. I don't see anybody in my circles that are doing it. There aren't too many people I know that are stepping up every day. And here's the deal. I'm not making any money on this. People think, oh, what's he want? Oh, eventually there'll be a book for sale. Eventually there will be some merchandising that spins off of this. And who knows, you know, the thing about doing something like this is it comes down to throwing stones. There are a few already that realize, hey, wait a minute, maybe I should try to revamp my life so I'm not spending any more money supporting it than I have to, or time supporting it than I have to, so I have more time to do the stuff I enjoy doing, right? Because that's what this is all about, right? Success is it's not a thing. Success is a mindset. 365 days, man. 365 podcasts, I became a success. You know how? I set a goal for myself and I executed. And even when I didn't want to execute, as you can probably tell by the last couple podcasts, man, I was just out of gas. But guess what? Even then I showed up. You know why? Because I believe in me. Whether this comes out perfect or not, that doesn't define who I am. In my mind, I'm a rock star, right? Why not? You can think anything about yourself. And what's cool is the mindset, me being a rock star, makes it okay for me to do crazy stuff. Just the other day, my son-in-law, Ryan, he's former military, and he posted on Facebook, it's a fundraiser for Mission 22, which is a nonprofit that supports our military guys, and it's about suicide prevention, and helps families that are struggling and veterans that are struggling, right? And the idea was to do 2,200 push-ups in the month of April. So I get that. I picked that up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to support him. So I donated to his cause. And then I don't know if you look at my Facebook page or TikTok. I posted a couple places, but I actually did the video. I did 2,200 push-ups in 5 days. And actually, it was 4 days, because one day I was at the CrossFit Festivus competition watching my son-in-law and my daughter and my grandson all compete among a bunch of other people, right? That's because I feel good about it. I don't know if you noticed, but I don't mind pushing it out there. Are you pushing it out there? Are you pushing out your story? Are you saying, yes, I belong here. This is where I am. And, judge me, do what you want, right? Oh, by the way, guess what? I joined the CrossFit gym. I got a month before we leave. May 31st, we pull out of Colorado. We head back up north. And so I decided, my grandson and me had been working out, and I'd been giving him rides back and forth. He says, hey, why don't you join the gym? It'd be cool to work out with you. So I did my first workout yesterday. Bam, I came in second. All right. I beat a guy that was half my age. That's a pretty good feeling, right? A lot of push-ups. So, but that's about me being into me. I don't ever want to show up at some resort and take my shirt off. And granted, there's nothing here to look at, ladies. Just let me tell you that there's nothing here to really look at. But I'm not fat. I'm not obese, and I have some muscle, and I have some. I'm in pretty good shape physically, right? No matter whether it's true or not, it's my lie. It's my story. So let me tell you about this. So this is the ticket right here. So now that I'm done chewing your ass, let's go ahead and talk about how this happens. Take a minute every day and spend some time with yourself. Imagine where you used to be if you're not in a place that's already got you motivated. If you're not in a place where you're inspired by where you are when you look in the mirror and you can see your potential, then start that conversation with yourself. Because there's nothing wrong with you. The only thing that's stopping you from being any place you want to be is finding the incentive to take that action, finding the incentive to move. And it starts with the attitude. You ever seen a guy walk off the field? Yeah, my attitude ain't right. His head wasn't in the game, right? It's all about a story. Every bit of it is about a story. I remember I had frizzy hair. My hair was parted in the middle. It's frizzy hair. I'm wearing corduroy bell bottoms, and we called them waffle stomper hiking boots, and I've got silk shirts on, and I'm just strutting my stuff, freckle face, and I got to tell you, I was about as cute as a mud fence. but the thing is, by the time I got to be 14, 15 years old, I don't know what I didn't even consider what the world was seeing. I'm seeing a badass. I'm seeing the coolest dude there ever was, right? I mean, then that's the deal right there. That's where it starts. You're only where you are until you decide to change locations, right? And sometimes it takes some work. Sometimes it takes some struggle to get up, right? I'm on the other side of that. I'm on the other side of it. I haven't even checked the workout for CrossFit tonight, but I'm going to hit it, right? I'm going to go and I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to try and not be last. And even if I'm last, you know what? I'm the first guy. I still a winner compared to everyone who didn't show up, right? And that's the same thing with you. Don't count on the people who love you to support you. Don't count on the people who are around you to tell you, "Hey, that's a good idea. Yeah, you should go to CrossFit." And then they walk away and mumble something under their breath about how fat you've gotten, right? Don't count on it. And the bigger the change, the less support you're going to have. That's why it's so important for you to be into you, to be okay with you, to be able to stand up and say, you know what, I'm going to do this. I don't care what the world sees. I know what I see, right? That's where it starts. Because if you go back through this whole story, living your best life it begins by understanding yourself in here. And that's where we've kind of gotten away. We've lost it. All these advertisings, all these stories, from the time you were born, from the time I was born, we've been told what happiness looks like, what success looks like, what great relationships look like, right? And it would be great if it were cool. I mean, if it worked, right? If it was actually this package deal, you just plug your life into it and bam, you wake up excited and energized. And the reality is we're not. I mean, maybe you are, maybe you are. How did it feel to wake up this morning to do what you have to do? How does it feel to go through your life? How many moments in any given day are you going, yeah, all right, I'm in this? And the problem I struggle when I show up here every day and I try and convince you that there's another option is, the reason I'm so enthusiastic about it is because I'm living it. I have no idea where this is going, but even if this doesn't go anywhere, this is the motivation for me to finish that book. This is the motivation for me to stay in shape. This is the motivation for me to not make a mistake that traps me the way I was when I chose that conventional home. You got to be into you. And if you don't make yourself the priority and love you first, everything you do will be a struggle. And I don't know if you've noticed, I posted a while back, but you got to understand the difference between a struggle And a challenge is your connection to it. Think about it. Think about what it feels like to wake up on Saturday morning after a few too many glasses of wine, a few too many beers, maybe some rum and cokes, whatever your thing is, right? You wake up Saturday morning a little bit late. The deal was, the plan is you're going to get the weeds on the side of the house cleaned up, right? How much struggle do you face to get that done, right? Now, take same scenario, except when you wake up in the morning, your buddy's picking you up, and you and your wife and them are going to the lake, or you're going mountain biking, or you're going to go fishing, or anything that inspires you. You fill in the blank. Your head still hurts, you're still tired, you're still dehydrated, whatever you feel like when you wake up after drinking too much. But guess what? It's a challenge. It's like, all right, let's get this done. We got to get our bags packed. We're running a little bit late. They're going to be here in 20 minutes. Let's go, right? There's the difference. And that whole attitude starts right in here. It starts in how you feel about you. Go ahead, do it. I wake up every day, hell yeah, you'll never see me back away from the opportunity to talk about me, because no one's doing it like this, and I'm proud of that fact. No one is doing it like this. So, hey, step up, take a look in the mirror and start loving yourself. Step up, take a look in the mirror and start telling yourself how great you are. Build a story around where you're going, and I guarantee you will get there. I guarantee you will get there. Before you know it, you'll be looking back going, hell, he was right. Hell, he was right. Throwing out a challenge here before we shut this one down. Hey, listen, I want to hear from you. I dare you to challenge me with a post, with a question that I can answer on here. If you give me a subject you want me to talk about, want me to discuss, give you insight on, I guarantee you cannot stump me. Now, keep in mind, it's all about living your best life. I understand that concept completely. So if you have the nerve, because you've been sitting back listening, I think it's time for you to jump in this game and let's start talking. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I welcome the opportunity to demonstrate that this is as easy as it gets. This is the easiest path, and more than that, it's not going to cost you a dime. So anyway, guys, keep that in mind. Let's not forget about the kindness, and as always, just remember, today is your day. Make it a good one.